It's a beautiful afternoon on Lake Leelanau, and we're spending it with a couple of walleye masters. Captain Bryan Buist of To Be Caught Charters and Captain Greg Alsip of Lake Effect Fishing Charters. These guys know their stuff, and they'll be showing us how, where, and when to catch walleye, along with their favorite tool for tracking them down.
You can see we got the Garmin LiveScope down.
So we've got the guides, we've got the tech, and we're gonna get the walleye on this edition of Fisherman's Digest.
There's fish.
Fish on.
There's a fighter. He smoked that thing.
They want that white.
There's a nice
fish.
keeper walleye right there. See if our net man can do it. Yes,
Right.
he can.
Show that off, Brian. You got weeds in the mouth.
Yeah, if that doesn't tell you that we're fishing weeds, I don't know
Nothing
what
will.
does. Right there. And a face full of treble hooks on that walleye. It is midday, guys. Everybody thinks walleyes feed in the morning or in the evening. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. There's a heck of a good weed bite right now going on midday. These walleyes, they're not afraid to bite.
And the cool thing, Bryce, that'll keep going. I'll keep that one for dinner after you show it
You
off.
bet.
But the cool thing, Bryce, talk about how long this bite goes. I mean, Greg's right here, you're right here. Both you guys have guide services,
Yeah.
so talk about that.
So Greg's a local guide up here. We catch these fish just like this all year long. What you think, Greg? I mean,
Oh yeah, spring to fall the whole time. Spring and fall is always probably the best, but
Yep.
you know, when you got a slow bite out deep, there's always fish up in the weeds.
And yeah, and so you know, guys, I'll grab this fish for Brian and move it to the live well. So Greg's mom and dad have Lake Leelanau Narrows Resort, and that's a resort right on the top side of the lake. I had one. I literally stopped and I felt the tick. That's right on the top side, and that makes for a great time for people who want to just come and spend a week on the lake. Now, you know, you can grab Greg for a day or two, and once you learn the concept of the lake, you can go out fishing by yourself. They got docks right there at the resort. So that lake access is really awesome. And you know, Greg's more than willing to share his knowledge of the lake with his customers, and that helps you understand. Every lake has its concept. You get what I'm saying? So this lake, there's lots of different ways to fish. You can glide bait fish deep water. You can weed fish with jerk baits. I'm throwing a swim bait. There's lots of different ways to catch these fish. So that makes coming here really good for the versatile angler. A lot of guys will also troll in the middle of the summer with whether it's crankbaits, or also they'll troll with snap weights and spinners, tadpoles, things like that. So check them out. Lake Leelanau Narrows Resort and Lake Effect Guide Service, and of course our friend Bryan Buist at To Be Caught Guide Service is in and up and down. He's probably got more miles on his truck than a postal service truck.
oh, sheesh. I just let it fall straight to the bottom once I got him to chase it, and then he hit it. There he is.
There.
Fish on.
Get on. All right.
Live scoping suspended walleyes.
All right.
50% of the time, it works every time.
Perfect. Perfect.
Lake Leelanau, glide bait fishing, can't beat it.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming to play.
There he is.
Fish on. Yeah.
Nice one too. Oh yeah. There's a nice keeper. Nice one, Greg.
Finally.
Had to go to deep water.
Nice looking one on walleye, deep water.
Beautiful. Good job, good job. Well, you got to take the local.
There's one.
Fish on. Got the net right there, Greggy. Oh yeah.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jerkbait fish.
Jerk baiting. Talk about how we switched locations because of the bite, Bri.
So this morning I had a really good deep water glide bait bite, and we were in 50 foot of water. We were catching suspended walleyes. So we came out midday today and we tried that same thing, and I just wasn't marking the fish. So as John says, there's always a bite in the weeds. So we switched tactics, and he's in the background cheering over that one. So we switched tactics up over to jerkbaits, and we're fishing weeds, and we're in about 10 foot of water here. You can see we got the Garmin LiveScope down, and we could see these fish. They'd skirt up out of the weeds, and they're coming up and hitting the jerkbaits. It's a nice hard hit today, so hopefully that's a good sign that John was right with the weed walleye bite. Nice Lake Leelanau walleye.
Beautiful.
Thanks, little buddy.
Good job, Bri. Now, if all of us started contributing, we'd be good. John's got to get his act together.
Did you want to keep any, John?
Yeah, I mean, if we start catching them, my wife gave me a cooler, but I mean, I don't have to either.
Rapala Shadow Wrap. It's a jerkbait.
How you working it? How you working it, Bri?
I was actually doing like a real slow jerk on that. So I would cast it out as soon as your jerkbait hits the water. A lot of guys will do an aggressive snap. I was just doing a nice slow stroke with it and just kind of working it back real slow. And that fish actually hit it probably only about 20 feet from the boat. A lot of people think, oh, my cast is over, so they give up and they reel that jerkbait in. I've actually had fish come up out of the water and hit my jerkbait, and it happened actually like a couple weeks ago here. So never give up in your cast. Fish that cast all the way back in, all the way back to the boat. You can't go wrong. Those walleyes are not boat shy. Bing on!
Fish on. That was like...
How'd that take, like
first
2
cast,
seconds?
yeah, spot lock. Woohoo!
We're on it. That fish come up and hit it 5 foot below the surface of the water.
Wow.
And it's a keeper.
Nice. Nice.
There we go.
So what do you think's going on out here, you guys, with this? I mean, these fish are suspended, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're super aggressive.
They are. There is a lot of bait balls out here, and we're in like 30 foot of water, and the bait balls will be in the top half of the water column. Therefore, these walleyes are actually up there too. So we're fishing these glide baits. We're trying to jig the baits just above the walleye's head. So when you're casting out, you can see your jig fall. As soon as that jig's above their head, you want to jerk it. If you can get it to react, chances are this fish is going to bite it.
Awesome. That's another one going to Betsy.
You bet.
Plus, if I get him out of the front of the boat, I might be able to catch one. So guys, while they get set up here again, this is where that Garmin LiveScope is so important, because you're out here in open water. You'd never see those fish, identify their location, how deep in the column they are, unless you could pinpoint those fish. Correct, Bri?
Correct.
And we're stopping, what, 60, 70, 80 feet short of them and
Yeah.
casting to them.
Yep. I really like to get my fish within like 70 feet, and then I'll start to cast.
Fish on. Yeah.
Good cast, Greg.
Keep casting, I got net. Another nice little sandwich. Show that one off, Greg. So Greg makes a living catching those fish right there from Lake Effect Charters.
Yeah, I would say Lake Leelanau around is definitely one of the best eater class walleye. There's plenty of shorts in here, but that 15 to 18, 15 to 19 inch range, there's a ton of fish in here. DNR, I've heard from the biologist, says that, you know, South Lake Leelanau statistically has the most walleye in it per acre in the lower peninsula, so I mean,
And
I
the taste of the fish.
Oh, the taste of the fish is amazing.
Yeah, that's what
Clear water.
Yeah. Clean water.
Clean, clear water, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of everything. North Lake is, you know, polar opposite of South Lake. 40 feet deep, you can see bottom. But yeah, clean, good fish. It's a lot of fun. Come on up and enjoy it.
There he is.
Right under the boat.
That's called, I brought him in with my swim bait and Greg caught him. Literally, I was bringing it.
Ooh,
Oh
that's
yeah,
dandy too.
nice one.
Look at that. You know what we call that kind of fish? It's a guide fish to get off in the net.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yep,
If he's 15, he's a Betsy fish. Oh yeah.
it's a good boy right there. Trained him.
And what I did was I was slow reeling that swim bait in, and Greg says, oh, he's on John, because as I pulled it up.
Yep.
And then Greg dropped his jigging Rap down, bam, immediately he had that fish. Good job. Oh, I'll just be the decoy. I'll just draw him in.
Coming in.
Oh yeah, I see him. That's so cool. Ah, yeah, you should have seen that.
Yeah,
He was all over it, Greg.
just like Nintendo.
That LiveScope was so cool.
Let's play a video
Eh.
game.
He came right up. He came nice and easy, Bri. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
so cool, Bri.
Yes, that's fun.
That was so cool.
It's like a
It's like you,
gratification thing, just seeing it and then knowing that fish is reacting positively to your cadence. It's just,
yeah, I can see that once you figure it out. But I mean, seriously, Bri, talk about that. We were staring right at those two fish, and one of them turned and started going straight up. Bri goes, here he goes, bam, and he hits him.
yes, and it's instantaneous. A lot of people mess with the settings on their Garmin, but I was told put it in auto. That processor is going to work the quickest, and you're going to have real instant information. And that fish, literally, I watched it swim up and just smoked it. So I definitely would recommend leaving that on an auto setting.
Get her just far enough to bite.
You get the net, Jeff?
Yeah, keep working, Bri.
It's a good one.
Oh, yeah, in the mouth. Yeah, nice, a blue one. That walleye's blue. Yeah, he does. Perfect. We're getting the perfect size for eating, Greg. That's right. Show that one off. You're right. He's got some blue to him.
Yeah, look at the fins.
Yeah, he's got blue to him.
That's awesome.
Awesome. I tell you what, that was crazy. We're gonna put the camera up here on Greg next time. I'll take him, Greg. Find another one and show exactly how this Garmin LiveScope works. These guys are seeing these fish, casting to them, bam, within 10 seconds hooked up. Of course, he splashes me right in the face. Fish on.
Fish on.
Yeah, well, it worked. Bri pointed him out and we went a little bit further, but I'll tell you what, Greg made one last cast, and sometimes, Greg, when they chase, it seems like almost lure color might have a little something to do with it, because that orange one is getting some violent strikes. Look at that. You got perfect light. See that right on his shirt, ladies and gentlemen? Lake Effect Charters. You want to call Greg up? Bryan Buist from To Be Caught. Both of these guys will put fish like this in the box, and most importantly, on your table. Oh, he's coming up. He's coming up. There he is.
Bingo!
It's like video games.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. If you don't have a Garmin LiveScope, you got to get one.
Let's go to this side, Greg.
Look at this fish. A beauty.
Another nice one.
I mean, searching. Explain the concept of just searching and resting, Bri.
So we're literally sitting here with our lures out of the water, and we're driving around until we actually see these fish on the graph. That's how much we trust these electronics. So we're driving around, once we see the fish, then we actually cast at that fish. you want to make every cast count. You want to make sure you're locked in. You know, time is your friend. I always like to say that with walleyes. And make sure you're on that fish before you make your cast, because it is so critical to put that lure right on top of these things.
And what's cool about it to me is that you can see that fish when he turns and becomes aggressive to you. You can then be totally ready with that next snap.
You can change your cadence. You know,
Right. If you see one that doesn't act totally committed, do something different.
And always make them chase up.
Yep.
Especially the suspended fish. You want to stay above them.
Yeah, all of these fish have been suspended. These are not, we're in 50 feet of water, but you're catching them 15, 20 down.
Exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of times you can turn a negative fish into an aggressive fish just because you're making that mad. This is a reactionary bite out of these fish with these glide baits. It's not because they're hungry a lot of times, so.
Fish on.
You got it, John?
Yeah. I've been net man all day, doggone it. We'll let Brett in here. This looks like a nice fish too, boys. Awesome job. Way to go, Greg. Yep, we'll let him go. We'll mercifully let Greg take him off and let him go. That's the one thing about these guys. You gotta remember, if you catch those fish and they're not in the mouth, you gotta let them go. Yep. Perfect for the future of the lake.
Yep.
Oh, fish.
Got him. I got the net, John.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it? There's another keeper. Nice one, Greg.
Fish.
They are nice.
Another nice Lake Leelanau walleye.
There he goes.
Catch and release.
Catch and release.
So what a day it's been with Captains Bryan and Greg, but it's not just about walleye here, not by a long shot. Lake Leelanau is home to a variety of fish species, including lake trout, brown trout, rainbow trout, chinook, coho, steelhead, smallmouth and largemouth bass, and yellow perch. And it's not just Lake Leelanau either. A trip up here puts you right in the Traverse City region of Northwest Michigan, with over 150 inland lakes and hundreds of miles of Lake Michigan shoreline. Traverse City offers visitors limitless opportunities for boating, sailing, paddling, and swimming. There are miles of hiking and cycling trails, blue ribbon trout streams, and over 20 golf courses. You can also visit the world-renowned Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore or take a fall color tour along the award-winning M22 Scenic Drive. To plan your trip and to find out more about this beautiful region of Northwest Michigan, go to traversecity.com.
There he is.
Fish on.
Fish on.
Wow. Video game fishing.
Yep.
Yep.
So, Bri, you caught last fish.
Yep. You're buying dinner?
I'm buying dinner. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Like we've said throughout the show, got Lake Effect Charters right here at the Leelanau Narrows Resort, right here on Lake Leelanau. Bryan Buist from To Be Caught Charters. Thanking both of them guys for having me up. I didn't catch a fish today, but I got carpal tunnel surgery coming here in about 30 days, so I have a little bit of a reason. These guys are showing you glide bait fishing. Give them a call. They can show you just as well as show you a great time on the water catching fish done professionally. Thanks for joining us here today on the Fisherman's Digest.